Today we are working on multiplying fractions using an area model, and then we're also going to work on multiplying fractions with number crunching. So let's look at the area model first. To do the area model to multiply fractions, you need to remember that we're looking for part of a part. This multiplication sign also can replace with the word of. So I'm looking for 1/6 of 2/3. So the first thing I want to do is I know that my square is going to represent one whole. I'm going to divide my square into thirds. So here is 1/3 and 2/3 and 3/3 would make the whole. And I'm going to go ahead and shade in 2/3 of the whole. So then I can use another color to shade in 1/6 of those 2/3. So to find the 1/6, I'm going to then divide my whole into 6 horizontally. And so now I'm going to shade in one of those horizontal 6. And so then here I can go ahead and label my 6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, and it gets a little squished. There's 5/6. So this is 1/6. This double shaded portion is 1/6 of 2/3 of the whole. Then I need to look for my answer to see how this portion relates to the whole. So this double shaded portion is 2 sections out of 18 pieces in the whole. So 2/18 would be my answer, and that can be simplified to 1/9. So then 1/6 of 2/3 is 1/9. Now I also want to look at the pattern with numbers when I multiply fractions. My first step is going to be to cross reduce. To cross reduce, you're going to think, do the numbers on the diagonal share a common factor? If they do, then you can divide the numbers on the diagonal by their common factor. After I simplify first, then I can multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and that would get me my new numerator and denominator. So let's try it. 4/9 times 3/11. The first thing I'm going to do is look for numbers on the diagonal that share a common factor. Do 4 and 11 share a common factor? No, the only factor they have in common is 1, and that's not too helpful. So then look on the other diagonal. Do 3 and 9 have a common factor? Yes, their greatest common factor is 3. So I'm going to divide 3 by 3 and get 1, and divide 9 by 3 to get 3. Now I'm going to multiply my new numbers straight across. 4 times 1 is 4, and 3 times 11 is 33. So then 4/9 times 3/11 is 4/33. Let's try number 2. Number 2, I'm going to look on that diagonal. So do 5 and 50 share a common factor? Yes, their greatest common factor is 5. So I'm going to divide them both by 5. And then I'm going to look along the other diagonal. 39 and 26 share 13 as their greatest common factor. So I'm going to divide them both by 13. For this one, I was able to simplify a lot to make smaller numbers to work with. Makes things a little bit easier. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 10 is 20. So 3/20 is my answer. Lastly, the third example we're going to do is if I have a fraction times a whole number, and I have to think, I'm going to multiply my numerators together and then my denominators together. But when I have a whole number, I don't have a numerator and denominator yet. So all I need to do is, remember, this is 81 wholes. So I'm going to put a 1 underneath 81, and now I've turned my whole number into a fraction. So I'm going to look along the diagonals. 81 and 9 share a common factor. The greatest common factor is 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 81 divided by 9 is 9. Then multiply straight across. 5 times 9 is 45, and 1 times 1 is 1, and that is 45.